Good morning, Northwest Indiana. Nice and rainy out there, but we need it. This is the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission show. I'm Tom Wichlinski, the Vice Chairman, and I'm sitting here with my Executive Director, Dan Repay, watching the grass get greener because, boy, oh boy, the last few weeks we had some beautiful weather, but we hadn't seen one drop of moisture up until today. But we were
And I went to Ace yesterday to buy grass seed, and I couldn't get it down because I had to get all this other stuff doing, and now I wake up to this is the perfect weather. I should have done
Yeah, this is the time of year. If you're going to plant grass, put sod down, this is the perfect time of year to be doing that because of the dew points and the morning dew and getting those seeds germinated with the moisture.
Not too hot.
No, and it's I think we finally got to the fall. So
we'll see.
We got a lot of stuff cooking with the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission. We're finishing up some projects. We had a ribbon cutting, I think it was last month at Sowerman Woods.
Sowerman Woods, we couldn't attend actually because it was the same night as our meeting.
Conflicted with our meeting, but that's okay. You know, we're conduit for projects of that such, and we're always looking for other projects. We got some great partners throughout the water basin that we're talking to all the time about projects that are impactful for not only their communities but the whole entire system itself. And we're constantly monitoring future development down in the south of the county because that is exploding down there. And where does that water have to go, folks? It comes through many different tributaries and arrives at our doorstep. So we're very cognizant of what's happening in the South County as far as development. And we've got currently our engineers looking at the development that's going on down there and making sure that we're prepared for stuff like that. Because ultimately, when it's all said and done, we do not want to, and I'll parrot my chairman, an event of like 2008 ever to happen again.
If you can prevent it.
Yeah, if we can prevent it. I mean, the amount of water that fell during that period of time, and it was like a perfect storm. Everything kind of came together. You had the tornado prior to that.
About
you
a
had
month
the blockages. You got, but fortunately, folks, for your edification, this gentleman sitting here to my right,
Stage left.
Yep, you got it. Is focused on making sure that the river is constantly flowing, and we're monitoring any blockages because we're getting into our furry friend season where they're preparing for winter, like we haven't been over the last few weeks, but they're getting ready with their beaver dens and getting everything set up. So, but we in the last meeting we approved the geological survey monitoring systems that we have throughout the system to make sure that we're constantly watching the levels of the water.
And you can check those out on our website. They're available. They're available by name and by pictures, so you can zoom into your area or your particular area, and you can see which one's impacted. And you mentioned how we are monitoring development and watching to see, there's two ways we're doing it. One, we've got the watershed study that we've gone out to every community in the watershed, including Porter County, because we understand that water knows no geographical boundary, because we get water from Porter County, and then we also give it back to Porter County through Lake Michigan. INDOT, Lake County Highway, all those projects are being analyzed so that we can allow the water flow to be more free and less possibilities. Sometimes you see developments that occur, and I'm not just saying South County, just any county, or any part of the county where they focus on that 400 house subdivision, and the Plan Commission goes, okay, well, you got to put a detention pond, but they don't look, a quarter mile, a half mile down where there's an old railroad trestle that has old culverts or undersized culverts that
they're just assuming that once they open the spigot, it's going to flow. It's going to flow wherever it needs to flow, and that's one thing that we've been focused on over the last few years is to make sure, stuff like that.
Yeah,
culverts that go under roads that are collapsed.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of our partners that come to us with that stuff. And sometimes, we approve them, sometimes we don't, but most of the time we're looking at it from the standpoint of, is it going to improve the water flow? Is it going to make sure that people's homes and businesses and buildings are safe? And 9 times out of 10, we're partnering with those people. It may not be to the dollars that they're looking for, but we're always with them, standing with them, and helping them out.
Looking at opportunities.
Yeah.
And just to follow, that is the second part is you guys have approved the watershed overall modeling, and that is you can put a rain system into Northwest Indiana and say you can put this system, although it's really weak, and find out what the levels you will achieve. Will it impact this bridge or will it impact this neighborhood? And, that hasn't been done since the late 80s, early 90s when the Corps first designed this project. So from then to now, you have a lot of farms that turned into subdivisions, into retail centers, and that's fine and that's great. We just need to be prepared for what that's going to do to us. And there's a number to that. And so right now we're trying to dictate or find that number. And we are told by the end of this year we'll have that number. So we can start planning from that aspect as well. So look, if the river is going to rise 2 extra inches or 3 extra inches, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but in the grand scheme of a storm system, that's quite a bit of water.
And since the new commission was constituted, one of the things the first initial thing that we needed to do was prepare a plan, maintenance plan, and a flood fighting plan, which we constantly update. And one of the things that we've been focused on since we've even started is to get rid of as much human intervention as we could, i.e. throwing sandbags and doing closures. And I think we're coming up on the last piece of that puzzle, hopefully, which is the Kennedy Avenue Bridge is a little bit lower than we'd like it to be and needs to be raised. And we're working with the partners in Hammond and Highland and INDOT
and the county actually.
County.
We're looking for money. Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you.
We would like our partners to participate in this, and it's not just raising that individual bridge, but it's also making a connection point between the area that is Cracker Barrel and all the hotels and the
office buildings,
the convention center, or the convention
visitor center, and make a connection walking point so they could actually walk over to the Oxbow Park, and that's part of the plan that we've been looking at for years and years and years, and since 17.
Yeah, we're still tossing that around. We ran into the buzzsaw of everything it costing more, and
we've tweaked cheaper.
we've tweaked it a little bit, and we're hoping that this next go around will make it a little more reasonable to do it. It's what's the return on investment, folks, and we treat those tax dollars that come into the commission as we would our own, and we want to make sure that every dollar that gets spent goes towards the common good of what we're trying to do.
I mean, you look at Kennedy Avenue, and we're old now, but Kennedy Avenue now has about 20,000 vehicles a day. Mm-hmm. When you extend it through Sherrville, and that was always a pipe dream, everyone's like, oh, you're never going to extend it through Sherrville. Well, they're doing the overpass at the railroad, and then they're going to extend it to 30.
Once that happens, that's going to be a major thoroughfare.
Yeah, it's going to be the new Calumet / Boulevard.
So it's one of these things that we'd rather be ahead of the curve than behind it on this one. And they're still a few years away from getting that thing going. I know they're doing a lot of
They're doing the bridge this year.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of pre-work here to get that going. I think you're right. I think it's going to happen either this year or next year to start it. I think early next year is when it's going to start.
I know they're moving the utilities now. I go through that area often, and it's just something that you have to look at. And we've looked at it with Sherrville, how to make sure the water's going through, that people aren't impacted. Water knows no geographical boundary, and then that's what we have to deal with.
Let's face it, folks. I mean, the concentration of hospitals is south of the river. So the people north of the river have to have access to hospitals, and we've been very cognizant of that. We raised early on. We raised the Columbia Avenue Bridge in conjunction with the county, and that one got
And the
done.
cities, yeah.
And the Calumet Avenue Bridge is at the high point where it needs to be for us. So it's one of these things that's going through the system to make sure I don't have to do a closure. I don't have to throw a sandbag. I don't have to bring human intervention into this thing. In the event that there's a huge rain event, we're always focused on making sure that's...
Yeah, Calumet is just a couple inches, and in the event of an emergency, that's a whole nother thing. But as you said, the biggest problem, if you remember history, is 2008. No one could get to the north from the south except for Klein Avenue.
Right.
Klein Avenue was iffy at best.
That was the only thoroughfare that you get through. Because
yes.
I recall that I tried when we had the floods of 2008, and that was the only way I could get across to get to the downtown Chicago area.
And then you add the fact that the Borman Expressway
The Borman Expressway was closed for 4 days, folks. Now, I travel the Borman Expressway on a daily basis, and from, like, in the morning, I came here and going westbound was pretty dicey. And then in the afternoons, from 3 o'clock on, going eastbound is just bumper to bumper all the way to I-65. So, I mean, it is the gateway through the Midwest into the from west to east and east to west. So having that thoroughfare closed down for any amount of time basically halts commerce.
All the ancillary problems that creates, and we actually created a traffic plan if we could, would ever happen again, to implement that. It was just people were sending people over to the bridges that shouldn't have been weight restricted. It could have been so much worse because no one really understood where to send people. They basically sent them down Ridge Road, and they sent them down 30, and they good luck, and it's just...
And that's a lot of people, they don't understand that certain roads are built for certain weights.
Yep.
And I use a perfect example. Sometimes I travel through neighborhoods in Chicago, main thoroughfares, and you could see it like this massive rut in the roadway. And I'm like, what kind of truck came through here, and how heavy was that came through here to make that kind of indentation into the roadway? So, I mean, you're thinking of engineering problems and all the stuff that we deal with on a daily basis. It's you know.
I mean, just as much as roads are designed for certain things, sewer systems are designed for certain things. And you guys had, I'm sure you and Bill talked about it, the large rain event that occurred. Did it occur before the show, or was it after the show? I think it might have been after the show, but before our meeting. But we had a large event that focused mainly on East Chicago, Whiting, North Hammond.
Yeah, they got the deluge up there. It was basically
they were hammered.
It was funny because it was there was like a dividing line.
Yes.
94, everything north of 94 got completely doused, and
I mean it wasn't like South County got missed, but
4 or 5 inches of water, and basements were flooded because you go into these older communities, folks, and what they do is they've got a sewer system that they call a combined sewer. So back in the day when we were building houses in the 40s and the 50s, we didn't think about that stuff. So all the rainwater and all the sewer water went into one sewer system and then either got treated at the treatment plant or got basically ejected into the river. Then we got into the Clean Water Acts where there needed to be a separation between the stormwater because stormwater just needs to go down the rivers and down to the lake, and this sanitary water needs to be just go to the sanitary system and be treated.
But separating, especially for East Chicago, Hammond, Whiting,
it's one of those things, folks. It just
even Crown Point, some of the older parts of Crown Point, separating sewers sounds easy, but it's expensive, and. Why everyone's like, well, you talk about a river. Like, this all goes into the whole aspect of a river because when you have combined sewers, we have combined sewers that feed into the river when there is a large event where they have to bypass the treatment of it. And that's why you will see, and I'll tell on Chicago, but that's why after a large rain event in the summer in Chicago's like, the beaches are closed. Well, the reason the beaches are closed is simply they couldn't handle it in the treatment plant, and they discharged directly to the either Chicago River or the Channel or Lake Michigan itself. And so
well, a lot of the younger folks don't.
Yeah.
They weren't around when they built the huge tunnels that go underneath the certain places in the south suburbs that basically can hold the water until it can be treated. And then the fortunate thing for us, though, in the last few years is now that there's a relief valve. When the water gets to a certain point, if you're driving down 294 towards this new little casino that looks like it's out of place there, but the quarry comes into play right there. You'll see it in the quarry, and water can now be deposited in the quarry after a major rate event. So that is a major relief valve for us and for the south suburbs, because when you get east of the state line or west of the state line, their level of protection is, 2 feet lower than us?
Yeah, they're by law, they can only go to the 100-year flood event. Where ours is designed for the 200-year flood event. So they need it, and I have to thank Jeff. I'm going to screw up the title, but Lincoln Lansing Stormwater. But he got us involved with MWRD, and they sort of gave us an education on
Midwest
the
Water
quarry.
Reclamation District.
Yeah, MWRDC, and then they're the ones that put out the warnings. Like, this is a water action day where we were talking about combined sewers. They don't want you to do your laundry. They don't want you to do stuff that's extraneous to the system, because they need all that capacity. But that quarry that you're talking about at Thornton, just before you get to that place over there, or if you're driving to Midway or O'Hare or Chicago, holds 8 billion gallons of water.
That's amazing.
So what that does for us, theoretically, is everyone to the west of the boulevard, Indianapolis Boulevard, sees an immediate impact of that drainage, because it sort of takes it that way. If you're down Hart-Stitch, you'll see a relief. When it gets the other way, because of all the other outputs we have a lot of pump stations from Highland, Hammond, INDOT.
And if you go to our website,
you
can see monitors on the website, and you can click on any of those. And what Dan's talking about is if there's a relief in the system, you'll see the drop in the water level in the system because of that, and it's pretty amazing.
You would see it the night of that rain event.
Commission.org.
Yeah. That night of that, and I wish I should have had it. It's September something, where it was just about midnight where the relief happened. They opened the gates, so to speak. There's not really it's not manually done. It's automatically done, just so people don't say there's not someone sleeping at the switch. And you saw about a 1.5 to 2 foot drop at Northcott.
That's amazing.
But you don't see the same thing at Kennedy. You see it blip a little bit, but then ultimately it goes back up because there's too many pump stations that are feeding at that location that are causing the disruption. But
and the river flows 2 ways.
Yeah, that's what people don't necessarily realize all the time.
At a certain elevation, the river's flowing to the east and to the west at the same time. So when it reaches a certain height, then you're I won't say they're fighting each other, but I mean, we're constantly reviewing what we are doing. We're constantly reviewing the engineering of what we have done, and we're constantly looking at better ways to maintain the system and work with our partners to make sure that their needs are met as well as our needs are met. So
we're constantly communicating with all the communities, state, county folks, and we're in the process of taking applications down.
I think I can comfortably say, folks, I mean, you look at your property tax bill, and there's that fee on there, the $45 once a year, and 99% of that money gets sent back to the communities that pay the fee to maintain the system. So we're not.
I would willing to say 100%.
We're being very, very just non-discriminatory with the money. We're making sure it's all of it goes back, because our goal, and it's always been our goal, is to make sure that the events of 2008 never happen again, or if we can prevent it and mitigate it, that's going to be going forward. So because when we're not around anymore, we want to make sure that we left it a lot better off than when we accepted it. I think we're in pretty darn good shape there. We did want to talk a little bit about, we had a presentation that was done, not the last meeting, but
in August,
2 meetings ago. over in Gary, there used to be an aquifer. People would go to the aquifer. I mean, it was just basically I always use the analogy, the old oh gosh, with the show where the guy shoots in the ground in the water. The stuff starts coming up.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, it's just coming up. So basically, it was a natural spring that would always.
Ours wasn't oil though.
No, it wasn't oil, but it would come out of the ground, and people throughout Gary for
50
decades,
years at least.
Decades would go and they'd take their water jugs and they'd fill them up, and then they'd take them home, and because they were very in tune with all the nitrates and the things that were in the water, and a lot of times that's actually really, really good for you. So we instead of having people trying to jump over fences and go through ditches and be unsafe about it, we created this little pocket park, and just the water just keeps flowing through basically a garden hose, and it never shuts off.
Yeah,
and people still go there and they fill up. So USGS, who we partner with our stuff, asked if they could do a study that back in, what was it, 2020?
2021.
Yeah.
They started in 20. I think they got final approval to do it by their funding source.
And
21.
we said that's fine. Go go do what you're going to, because they were looking at all kinds of different aquifers all through the Northwest Indiana, because some of these have been around for hundreds of years.
They wanted to date them. They wanted to see what was involved.
They were collecting data, and so they took samples of the water at a certain point, and they came to us like 4 years later and said, "Oh, this is what we found, whatever." Now, keep in mind, folks, this is just water coming out of the ground. We're not a utility. You're not advocating or telling you what to do, and
that you have to take this.
People go there, and they found some things in there, and we posted their report on our website, and we test the water on a monthly basis for coliform.
Every month for coliform, yearly for nitrates by IDEM standards.
Yeah.
And before we made that investment into the pocket park, we asked IDEM, what are the guidelines?
Right.
And they say, this is what you got to do. So we actually...
And we're not a water utility, folks.
Yeah, and I'm not, and nor am I a water operator,
No,
because I need a special license for that, although some people think I am.
I have a property up in Michigan. I have a well, and some of that well water is, I don't have it treated or what do they call it, osmosis or any of that stuff with it.
Filter.
I'll drink it right out of the tap. And, it is what it is.
So, I mean, for a year before we even made the investment, we tested per the IDEM standards, and it all came back. We're like, all right, well, if it came back that way, so we should make the thing.
And those testing reports are on the website as well.
They're on our website. That is correct.
So I think our final word on that is, it is what it is, folks. If you want to drink it, fine. If you don't do it. It's all completely up to you.
And
all the information is out there. It's on our website, and that's all we.
I mean, here's the last thing I'll say about it is, worst case scenario, we're going to put up a sign just to remind people, hey, guess what? This is coming from the ground.
That's right.
We test for certain things, but on a day-to-day basis, you don't know what you're going to get. But everyone always uses Carmel as the gold standard, right? Everyone's like, oh, if Carmel does it. So I called Carmel, and they have a natural spring, because my roommate from Ball State, chirp, chirp, was from Carmel and always told me about the natural spring. So I talked to the guy that runs the natural spring, and I said, hey, do you guys test for all these other different? He goes, nope. He goes, we have a sign, and this is what it says. We test for coliform, we test for nitrate. I go, that's what you test for? He goes, that's what we test for. And so that's what we're following. And so we're going to get the test results, our independent test results back soon, and we'll find out.
The water you get out of your tap at your house is sent through.
They treat it.
Yeah, treated water with purifiers and put chemicals and all kinds of stuff in there. This is just a natural.
And some people
then one day we were shooting at some crude and up from the ground.
And some people at their houses, they even filter the water that they get, which we are blessed to have from Lake Michigan. But some people do that. It's your preference.
Yeah, and some people like the taste of it.
But, like the newspapers, my dad always said never start an argument with anyone that buys ink by the barrel. I could only imagine what he would think of social media nowadays, because it doesn't matter anymore. Just things happen and people make up stories. I will just tell you, we're not in it to hurt anyone.
They've been drinking it for
years,
for decades, and they're going to go keep filling up their jugs and keep drinking it, and you know,
we're gonna we'll put a sign up likely.
Frankly, they like the taste of it. I'm not a fan of pure I'll call it well water.
I can't drink well water.
No.
I can't. I never could. Even when I would golf at Lake Hills and they had well water out of it's like I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Call me whatever.
And that's why they got bottled water.
Right, exactly.
Never used to have it, folks.
Nope.
Up to what, 15, 20 years ago, you could you would see bottled water.
I mean, I'll get
you see Pepsi, Coke. Now you got Monster drinks and all kinds of other.
I'll drink from the hose, but I don't want to drink from the well. How about that?
Yeah.
So,
but it just the information's on our website. You can go ahead at Little Calumet River Basin Commission.org.
Yep.
And there's a little blurb there, and we've got the reports and
it's a link to the reports. It's a link to our reports that we take every month. So it's really not that difficult to find. And
no.
You know, I mean, I do it every month.
Everything is 100% transparent, folks. Everything's 100% transparent. You know, we welcome comments. If you want to go to our website, all our emails are there. If you want to send us an email, that's fine. If you want to call Dan and Jody at the office, the phone number's there.
595-0599.
You know, we always tell people if you see something, say something because we're a limited group here, and what you see is what you get, and we want to maximize every tax dollar that comes to us so we can send it back to the community so they can deliver a positive impact for the residents within the watershed. That's our goal. Another month comes to an end, Dan.
Yeah. Enjoy the rain.
November is fast approaching.
I can't believe it.
We've got this year has flown by, and we look forward to finishing up the year strong and huge stuff going on in 2026.
And if you want to watch our meetings, they're available online. Just go to our website. You can see it, and you can ask questions during the meeting without even leaving the comfort of your home.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great October. Fall is coming. Look for the leaves changing now with the rain just hit. And I can say probably in the next few weeks we're going to see nice orange fall
foliage.
Foliage. There you go. Have a good one, folks.
See ya.